Let's get right into it. So, one thing that has been kind of like a hot topic as of late, I feel like, you know what? It probably has to deal with the sensitivity era because I think hecklers have always been a thing at comedy shows or like sporting events or just pretty much anything in general. But I feel like nowadays people are like very sensitive. I don't know what that's like to have to be, people talking crazy about your wife and your kids and stuff like that that you don't know, and the people that you know, you could beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're in like this era where it's like it's like so many athletes and people are speaking up about the heckling and blah 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 blah. So I think it's interesting. But I'm bringing this up just because basically two athletes that are kind of speaking up about the heckling from fans. One being Russell Westbrook, which I know you're not like super into basketball,
I know
but
who he is.
no, I know you know who he is, but like,
Oh.
are you familiar with the situation?
No, I don't know what happened.
All right. Well, basically, long story short, to summarize it, the Lakers have been absolutely trashed this season, even though they have Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Carmelo Anthony.
Aren't they
Like,
both hurt too right now?
yeah, I didn't see LeBron get hurt. I know you said that
Yeah, his
that
knee.
earlier.
It's his left knee.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He too old to be doing what he's been doing. But basically, they have all these players. They thought the Lakers were gonna get the chip. All this blah 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 blah.
Like the Nets
Yeah,
last year.
I mean the Nets could still do it as long
Was that
as
last year? Remember?
yeah, that was last year.
When they almost made it?
Yeah, that was one of the greatest games ever. But
But now I don't like them.
why? Oh, because
Who's screaming?
the the Kyrie thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's partially. I mean they actually just got fined because they let Kyrie come in the locker room at Barclays, but they got
But it was so dumb because he was in the audience. And you only
Yeah.
had to be vaccinated, I think, now for
No.
games.
nah. So he was literally on the sideline with no mask on, but couldn't be in the game. So,
It's stupid.
but that's like the NYC mayor's fault. Like at first it was the Nets and the mayor, but then it just became the mayor because the Nets were like, obviously the Nets want Kyrie to play.
Yeah.
But good for him for staying strong with his
I
beliefs.
wish I could have stayed strong.
But yeah, basically the Lakers have been trash. Russell Westbrook has been part of the issue, and people have been going around calling him Russell Westbrick because of how badly he shoots
Yeah.
the ball. A brick in basketball is like a wild shot, not hitting air ball and all that kind of stuff. And because of that, he's been getting heckled like a lot, like significantly, like everywhere. Like I think he just ran down on some people in the streets like yesterday or something.
Good.
I don't know if I have that actually pulled up or not, but
I think you could do that's a part of sport sometimes. But to a certain extent, it is kind of weird to me.
yeah,
Cause it's like you could never, let's play 1-on-1 then. Come on, I'll bet come down.
yeah.
I wish that was a thing.
The way he explained it was like his he feels like it's his legacy because people are now like mocking his last name being Westbrook,
Yeah.
and then he was saying how like his son loves his last name, and he goes to school. He's like, I'm Westbrook because like that's your
Yeah.
dad. Like Westbrook is now a name. You hear people on TV talking about it, and he's a kid, so he doesn't really understand even the extent of like what being a professional athlete even
Yeah.
means. So like, it was just kind of an interesting comment, but yeah, he's been running down on fans. But I only brought Russell up mostly because I wanted to talk about the Naomi Osaka situation where she was at Indian Wells. For those of you that don't know, it's basically a tournament for tennis, and she was being heckled by people in the crowd, and she kind of like had like she lost the match, but she had like an emotional not breakdown, but she was emotional after the match because she was getting heckled, and you don't know if there's racial connotations because tennis, much like golf, still is one of those sports where it's still viewed as being like a white predominantly dominated league. Like there's not acceptance because it's like one of those rich people things. Like people go and watch golf tournaments and you
Yeah.
got to pay all this money to go, or people pay so much money to go see like the US Open or Wimbledon. It's like a lot of real antiquated behavior with tennis matches. And racism is still a part of that, unfortunately, because that some of the
So,
people that
that sport is usually dominated by by white people.
Yeah, like even there's still speculation as to like, using the word masters in golf and tennis because we don't know the origins necessarily of that, but obviously given slave masters and things like that, I'm sure the origin was it was a tennis match or I mean it was a golf match and then all the slave masters pulled
Yeah,
up and then they called it the Masters because that's
yeah.
where all the people pulled up to go watch it. I'm sure there's something like that, but
Why else would you use that term?
yeah,
I mean, like I get that's like a master
yeah, you could be a
champion,
master of something.
but do you think that came from slavery?
It could have, but the only reason I think that because black people, I'll be honest, we try to make everything like white people did this. Not that that's not true. Most of
It
those
should be like
things,
that because it's so deeply rooted.
it's true. That's why you could question it because who knows what
Yeah,
what
and then white people don't say we're sensitive, but it's like how we're sensitive, but stuff is literally rooted everywhere.
yeah, more than they would know.
And it's crazy. Like you actually you don't really think about it till you actually get older. Like I never thought twice about master bedroom until I got older, and I was like, yeah, that is true. I never thought about it because it's such just like it's just a thing in your mind. Like you don't really think about that. That's linked to slavery.
Yeah, but I just brought up the whole topic in general just to see like, what do you think? What do you think about and this could be a larger conversation, like even related to celebrities in general. Like, how do you feel about people that like heckle or like talk down on you if you're in
feel
a place
like
of prominence?
I feel like anybody who does that is whack. Because like my mind is like if I'm going to a game, like I'm going there to enjoy the game, and like yeah, there's some competition, But I feel like even with the competition, you don't have to like degrade somebody or talk down,
Yeah,
or even like I don't know. Like, I get that as a part of the sport, like you want to kind of like distract the player for your team to win, type of thing. But I think some people take it too far. And I feel like you're just a weirdo, and you're kind of whack because you would be embarrassed. Like I feel like those type of people, if it was the other way around on them, they would be crying, or they would be embarrassed if they got called out and then had to come down. Like, oh, okay, if I'm so bad, if I suck, then come on, show me. I'm so bad, so you show me how to play. And I would just laugh in their face.
I don't know if I have the maturity for that because like say I was like super good at basketball. I'm not. But say I'm decent at basketball, but say I was like professional athlete, LeBron James, whatever, right? And somebody was heckling me saying I'm trash, whatever. My mind doesn't even go to come down here. I want to play you one-on-one and I'm going to show you how much better I am than you. I want to fight.
Yeah.
Because there's not,
Because then that's you see the athleticism in that in fighting.
because that's more demeaning to me. Like I would demean this person more if I beat them up in front of their wife.
Yeah, or if you just like, what's that word? We yoke somebody up.
Yeah.
Like and just watch them you probably
Scramble. He gonna lift them off the feet.
you literally can hold with one hand probably, right? Some of these players.
Yeah, with their feet dangling.
Yeah, like that's embarrassing. That's probably more embarrassing, honestly, than knocking them out. It's just
That's what I'm
joking them
saying.
up and then
Yoking
being
them up.
like, "What'd you say?" And then to see what.
Yeah, because these NFL players can yoke up other NFL players. So what are they
Yeah.
gonna do to you? Like they're gonna toss you across the room. Which
Yeah, I wish there was no rules and stuff like that. Like I wish there wasn't like that type of stuff gets you fined or kicked out the game and suspended stuff like that. And, like that sucks because like people like at the end of the day you shouldn't be able to come in there talking crazy
Yeah,
and not
or-
show
or the people they throw food at them. Like there's like a lot of real crazy stuff.
throwing water that you drink out of, like that's just so disgusting.
Yeah, nah, we gotta fight like that. We gotta physically
That's so
fight.
disgusting. Like it's it's always like I will say too. It's always like white people. Like I know you told me last pod to stop talking about them, but it's hard not to talk about them. They're like barbaric. Like literally, I feel like it's in their DNA to be like barbaric. Like let's go back to their history of what they were doing in European countries. Like and the pictures today that was popping up of the lynching, they were just sitting there watching, like so amazed. Like what's wrong with them? Like, and obviously it's not all of them, but a lot. Like I feel like they have like that in their DNA. Like it's like evil DNA.
Yeah, I would say that in terms of hecklers,
It's always them.
Yeah. To add to that too, I saw a picture or a video of a guy, and this is that whole YouTube culture, but like, the YouTubers that get popping for being just whack, they just do pranks, they just do whatever. Yeah. This one guy was at I don't know if they were at the Barclays or if they were somewhere else, but Kyrie was there. He was playing. Oh, it couldn't have been the Barclays because Kyrie was on the bench. But wherever they were, and the guy was like antagonizing somebody. I don't know if it was KD or somebody. He was talking crazy to somebody, but Kyrie was sitting there like come on, bro. Like, grow up. Like, you
Like,
got,
yeah,
and he was like, you got your mans over there, like, you paying him to record you, like, talking to NBA
yeah.
players. Like, that's mad
Like
whack.
you're whack.
Like,
And
you're a grown
at the
man.
end of the day, you're going home to your little house probably. Like,
But that's the
I mean,
problem.
but sometimes they do got money.
No, that's the problem
If they're there.
because sometimes the people that are attending these games may have even more money than the players that are on the court too.
That's
So you
true.
can't even necessarily get off the I'm richer
Yeah,
than you
like
because
you
you
go
don't
home and
necessarily
you're broke.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that actually happened to one person who was heckling somebody. He had money.
Yeah, so you kind of use that. So I guess it's just the character stuff then,
Yeah.
and the physical strength.
But yeah, do you think that athletes are too sensitive and they should let it go?
I mean, I know, like, I feel like if you're going into that, like, it's always like that when people say, oh, celebrities know what they signed up for, or like athletes know what they signed up for. It's like, yeah, but does that make it right? You know, like, we never have that conversation. It's like, yeah, they should kind of know what they signed up for, but does that make it right? Like,
Yeah.
should people get called out? Like, even when they try to do cancel culture and stuff, does that make it right that we're allowed to use any mistake that people make and cancel them? But day to day, most of us make mistakes all the time that if we were famous, we would get canceled for it too, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, why is it that because somebody's rich and has money, they should just suck it up? You know,
Yeah.
like
Honestly,
they're not a human.
if you heckle, you're super trash.
Yeah, you're like I said,
Like,
you're whack.
you're mad. It's
corny.
whack.
You're
It's whack.
like, yeah, like you're so corny because you know that they can't do nothing to you physically.
Bro, you suck.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
Sitting there with a beer belly, like relax. Like
It's crazy.
you shape crazy. Like there's no reason you to be talking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stomach is you can't even see your legs. Like relax.
Yeah, I didn't really have a deep dive on it, but I just thought it was kind of like an interesting thing. You know.
Yeah.
Hecklers are whack, and but at the same time, I do think athletes should still just suck it up, kinda.
Depending on what they're saying.
Yeah, you know what? To me, I try to look at things like, and I'm sure it's very hard for people to do. I try to look at things as mature as possible, because the thing is, like, even though I immediately want to go and punch people in the face and beat them up, like, you have to look at it maturely, like,
They came here to pay money to watch you,
yeah,
and to talk about that on you.
yeah, literally. Yo, listen, I use that LeBron quote all the time where he's like, they got to go home at the end of the day to their wives, and they got to pay their bills, and they're gonna still be who they are, and I'm still gonna be me, and there's gonna be no difference. Like, if that person heckle me or not, no matter what, if they came to my game or not, they still have to have their lives. Like, and I'm still me, and I'm still accomplishing these things.
Having your
So, I guess not that Westbrook or Osaka would be watching this, but if they are, hey, you just gotta keep, in my opinion, you just gotta keep your head high and just remember who you are, because you're competing at a level where people just don't get to. Like, both of them have accomplished things that people dream of accomplishing. And they've done it on a high level.
Isn't like Naomi's net worth like 45 million or something crazy like that?
Already, probably. I mean, her Nike deal, I'm sure, was significant. And being at her young age, and even
that
Westbrook,
you're young and
he's still what we would consider to be young. Like, he's still under 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, just keep hecklers your whack, and athletes, they should just keep their heads up.
Yeah.